get a lot of clients who come to me and they say, right, you know, I want to be professional. I've got these aspirations to be at the top of my profession. How do I get there? And I used to sort of, for example, if I knew they had a bad diet, I used to sort of point them in the direction of some articles because it's something I pay a lot of attention to myself. But these days, my advice is really simple, and it will just be go and speak to yourself, or you know, somebody with proper understanding of nutrition and personalized understanding of nutrition. Likewise, I would say if somebody says, look, I've got a real problem with my mindset, don't go and buy 5 books on mindset. Go and speak to one person and let them understand what's really going on in your life. And what we will often identify are historical patterns, neural pathways. I mean, for example, somebody with blockages to sleep, I get people who've come to me with sleep problems and they've done all of the good things you're supposed to do. They're not drinking caffeine in the evening. They're not drinking alcohol. They're turning off their screens. They're doing all of that stuff. But what we often find is that the subconscious in this person, there's been something in this person's past where the subconscious, when they go to bed, is telling them it's not safe to sleep. And that sounds kind of crazy, but that's the way our subconscious mind works. It tries to keep us safe, but it can be badly wired because that part of our brain,
right?
Yeah, it wants to keep us safe. And I mean, we've probably all experienced, I mean, to carry on the sleep example, we've probably all experienced it at some time in our life where let's say there's something stressing us at work or in our personal lives, and we can't do anything about it at 2 o'clock in the morning when we're lying awake. But our brain's somehow keeping us awake because it feels a threat. If it's our job and there's something really important and it's a problem, our brain's saying, you've got to stay awake, you've got to solve this. Now, our brain's trying to help us, but the most logical answer there would be, well, why don't you get a good night's sleep now, wake up in the morning, feel good, and then tackle the problem the best way you can. So we can see at a logical level, the brain is not helping us. And what we need to do is create patterns in our brain which accept, you know, that it can effectively be down regulated in terms of its activity at night, you know, that it is safe to sleep. There was probably a time in our human history where it was probably quite useful not to sleep too well, you know, when we were roaming the earth and there was wild animals and rival tribes. That made sense, but that part of our brain hasn't really evolved that much since those days. And so it sees things which are not really truly existential threats, and it kind of applies the same almost primitive logic to those.